Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're solving Trionic array 1. So an array is considered trionic if it consists these three items. So from 0 to p, it will be strictly increasing. Then after p to index q, it will be strictly decreasing. And from q to the end, it will be strictly increasing again. So we want to return true if these three things do happen. Otherwise, it is not trionic and we return false. So if you look at this example, it is increasing from 0 to here. And from here to here, it is strictly decreasing and then it is increasing again. So we return true. Now, in this example, we see that from 0 to the next number, it's already decreasing, but it should start off increasing. So we return false. So now that we have seen some examples, let's get to how we can solve this problem. So to solve this problem, we should acknowledge that there will be three phases. The first phase should be increasing, and the second phase of the array should be decreasing, and finally, in the end of the array, or the third phase, it should be increasing again. So what we can do is we can initialize a variable called phase, and we'll set it to 0, and we'll iterate through the array, and we will update the phases if the phases are changing. Now, if the phases are not changing, and the numbers are increasing instead of decreasing, or decreasing instead of increasing, or if the numbers are remaining the same, since we want them to be strictly increasing or strictly decreasing, then we return false. Now, if we have made it to the end of the array, we want to check if phase is equal to 3. If that is the case, that means we have gone through all three phases, so we return true. Otherwise, we return false. So let's go through this example real quick. The number is increasing, so set it to 1, still increasing. Now it has decreased, so we set it to phase 2, still decreasing. It's increasing now, so we set to phase 3. And now that we have come to the end, the phase does equal to 3, so we return true. Now if we look at this example, it is decreasing at phase 0, and that shouldn't be the case. It should increase from the start, so we return false. And the time complexity would be O of n, where n is the number of elements in the array, because that is the number of elements we will iterate through. And the space complexity would be O of 1, because the size of the phase variable will not depend on the size of the input array. So now let's get to the coding part. So first we'll initialize phase to 0, and now we'll iterate through nums for I in range 1 to length of nums. So if we are in phase 0 and nums of I is greater than nums of I minus 1, or the previous number, that means we are now on phase 1, so we can set the phase to 1. And continue. Now, if we are on phase 1 and nums of I is less than the previous number, then now we can move on to phase 2. So we will set phase to 2. And continue. And now we will check if we are on phase 2. Now if the number is greater than the previous number, that means we are on phase 3. So we will set phase to 3. And now we will check the cases where we can return false. So if we are on phase 0 and nums of I is less than or greater than nums of I minus 1, then we can return false, because it's supposed to be greater at phase 0. Now we will do the same for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So I'll copy and paste the other three phases, and at phase 2, we return false if nums of I is greater than or equal to nums of I minus 1. And finally, we can return if phase is equal to 3 or not. Let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. Hope this was helpful. Thank you all for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I hope to see you all again soon.